Hello everybody, today we're going to unbox, take a close-up look and test the Quirrel Digital Wood Moisture Meter. So let's first take a look around the outside of the box. So this is a digital moisture meter for measuring the levels of moisture in various types of wood. Okay, so now let's go ahead and open up the box by of course popping open the box flap and then sliding the contents out from the box. Okay, so there's a battery as well and another leaflet in there, just making sure that there's nothing else left behind. Okay, so that's the box emptied. I'm gonna go ahead and set it to the side, perhaps over there, and then lay the contents out on the tabletop right here so you can see what's just been removed from the box. So this is the Quirrel Digital Wood Moisture Meter. Now let's start off by first taking a look at this leaflet here. So there appears to be a customer satisfaction contact details. You can go ahead and set that to the side. Let's set it up there. And then moving on to the next item, of course we have a user guide or user manual for the digital wood moisture meter. And it does fold out or spread out like that. So on the reverse, some more instructions. I'll give you a close-up as well of the instructions. So there we go. And it's always useful to read the instructions before operating any type of electronic device. So those are the instructions right there with technical specifications as well. Alright, you can go ahead and set that to the side as well. And then moving on, there is a 9-volt battery right here. So it's one of those rectangular batteries, 9 volts. And there we go. Okay, battery aside, moving on to the digital wood moisture meter itself. Let's take it out from its protective bubble wrap. And there we go. We are now looking at the Quirrel digital wood moisture meter. And you can see the size of it right there. Fairly large. As you can see, resting in the palm of my hand. And a side profile view. And of course the back as well. And then just rotating it through. And back to the front. And the top right there. And the bottom as well. So giving you a close-up right there. So there is an LCD screen. And some control buttons below it for power, mode and hold. And there are 4 labels for different types of woods. A, B, C, D. And at the rear there is a battery compartment, of course, right there. And in terms of weight, very lightweight. It is made out of plastic. And there is a cap here that should be removable. If I can do this, requires just a slight bit of effort, so it does secure quite nicely on the top of the unit. And you can see 2 pins there, which you press into the wood surface to measure the level of moisture. And just to show you what it looks like, so 2 pins right there, and the cap in my left hand, of course. Okay, so let's put the cap back on, it does snap nicely in place. And then showing you the digital wood moisture meter right there. Okay, now let's pop open the battery compartment to reveal, of course, the battery compartment. And we're going to pop the battery into it. So the 9-volt battery. Let's see if I can unwrap this. So there we go. The battery is now ready to be used. Let's pop it in, connect it to the battery point, and then tucking it back into the battery compartment, and of course replacing the lid right there. So making sure that it is snugly in place. So of course there is. It's nice and secure right there. And now looking at the front, let's go ahead and power it on by pressing on that red power button. And you can see on the screen it's showing 0.0% right there. Nice and large, very clear readout. And if we press the power button again, it turns the unit off. Very simple operation, just by pressing and holding slightly to turn it on and a quick tap to turn it off. Okay, so screen back on, power back on to the unit. If we tap on the mode button, you can see that the letter on those stairs do move upward as I press. So those correspond to the different types of wood on this sticky label here. And then there is a hold button as well, which should lock the readout once you have measured the moisture level. Okay, so let's leave or turn it off and turn it on again, just to show you how it looks like again from a fresh start. And even if I move the mode across, you can see that it is now in mode C, just for demonstration purposes. Turning off and on, and it starts back into A again. Okay, so it does reset. And just to show you again, nice large display there. Very, very large display, so no troubles reading or in terms of legibility. Very, very crisp and large readout right there on the LCD. There doesn't appear to be any backlight, but you're not likely to use a device like this in the dark anyway. Now let's go ahead and of course test it out by popping open the pin cover. So I struggled slightly with this earlier, but I think the best way is to kind of wiggle it from left to right rather than popping it off from the front. But that's just from this very brief experience so far. Let's see what we get if we push it against the tabletop here, see if there's any readout at all. And let's toggle the modes to see if there's any difference. Okay, so now we're in mode C. Obviously this table appears nice and dry, which it should be. And what we can do now is test it on something else. So we do have a piece of wood here. I'm not sure if there's any moisture at all, so can't be certain about that, but let's go ahead and press it into the wood surface. And this time around, it is showing a readout here of 9.2%. There we go. So, and it does vary as I kind of wiggle it around, but you can see the display change as I kind of balance the pins on the wood surface right there. And let's see, if I toggle the mode to a different mode, to mode B, let's see if that readout would still be the same. So it appears to be slightly higher now, but then again, I might be pressing on the different points. So let's toggle it to another mode, mode C for a different type of wood, and then mode D as well. So you can see that the percentage moisture content does vary depending on the mode or wood type selected. But you can see it does give a readout here. Okay, so let's put it on the tabletop again, and you can see that it is showing 0.00. And let's find a different point on this piece of wood to get a different measurement. So just touching the pins down. Of course, we want to press it in slightly more just so we have a not just surface reading, but something slightly deeper in. So there we go, 9.2% in mode A. Obviously, I'm not quite sure what type of wood this is, but you can see that it does reflect and update on the Quirrel digital wood moisture meter. When visibly, you can't really tell whether this piece of wood has any moisture in it at all. So I picked it from the garden, but it does appear dry, even though there are some, what appears to be some wet stains or soil stains. But as you can see, that I've been touching on the light colored areas, yet it does give a reading. And should we touch on the dark areas, still gives a similar reading. Okay, so that is also useful for identifying whether something is a stain or whether it is moisture. Okay, so let me keep it upright this way, so perhaps it will be easier for you to see what's going on. So different readouts at different points of the piece of wood. Okay, and of course we can hold the figure right there, and releasing the hold lets it go all the way back down to 0, obviously, being that it's not in contact with any material or moisture right now. So that's the Quirrel digital wood moisture meter. Thanks for watching and happy measuring!